All right, let's dive in. Today, we're cracking open the Book of the Vishanti to profile one of Marvel's most powerful and, let's be honest, most wonderfully weird heroes, the master of the mystic arts himself, Doctor Strange.
So, to really get a handle on who this guy is, the first thing you have to understand is his job title. Because it's not just for show. It is, without a doubt, one of the most critical roles in the entire Marvel universe. He is the Sorcerer Supreme. And listen, that is not just some cool nickname he gave himself. It's a formal title. It means he is the #1 protector of our reality against any and all magical threats. Think about it like this. He's the planet's mystical immune system. The first and, very often, the last line of defense against forces most of us can't even begin to imagine. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This is how he's described by Eternity, who is the literal, actual personification of the Marvel Universe. I mean, when the cosmos itself points at you and says, that's the guy, he's the mightiest magician around, you know your power is on a completely different plane of existence. And that's really the core question of his whole story, isn't it? His journey doesn't kick off with magic or cosmic beings. Nope, it starts with something much more human. Good old-fashioned ego and absolute despair. See, before he was bending reality to his will, Dr. Stephen Strange was a master of a completely different craft. He was a brilliant, world-renowned surgeon, but his genius was matched only by his incredible, unbelievable arrogance. His path is just this classic story of a fall from grace. He starts on top of the world, a brilliant surgeon whose entire identity is wrapped up in his steady hands. Then, a tragic car accident takes it all away, and he just hits rock bottom. But here's the key. The real turning point isn't finding a magical cure. It's the moment he selflessly decides to protect his future mentor from a would-be assassin. That one single act of humility, putting someone else's safety before his own brokenness, that's what truly sets him on the path to becoming a hero. So, okay, he's got the title, he's got the training, but every master magician needs their tools, right? Let's take a look at some of the legendary artifacts he uses to keep our world safe. These are the big three. You've got the Cloak of Levitation, which is so much more than an accessory that lets him fly. It's basically a sentient ally that can fight all on its own. Then there's the Eye of Agamotto. Think of it as the ultimate truth detector, letting him see through any illusion and blast away dark magic. And finally, you've got the Orb of Agamotto, which is kind of like his mystical global security system, a crystal ball he uses to watch for supernatural trouble all over the planet. Now this really gets at a crucial idea: balance. Magic in the Marvel Universe is not just one thing. On one hand, you have the Book of the Vishanti, which is Strange's go-to source for defensive or white magic. But on the flip side, you have its indestructible opposite, the Darkhold, a totally corrupting book of pure black magic. This dangerous balance is always there, and it's a huge source of conflict. Now, let's jump back a bit, because Doctor Strange's debut was way more than just another comic book hitting the stands. His arrival was like lightning in a bottle, perfectly capturing the wild, revolutionary spirit of the 1960s. So he first pops up in July 1963, created by the legendary artist Steve Ditko. By 1965, Ditko was already taking the character into these absolutely mind-bending, abstract places, introducing cosmic ideas like eternity. The stories were so popular that by 1968, they just kicked the other features out and renamed the whole comic Doctor Strange. And the reason it was so popular, a huge part of it was the art. You have to understand what Steve Ditko was doing. It was unlike anything else on the comic rack. His drawings of other dimensions weren't just weird, they were surreal, they were disorienting, totally hallucinogenic. It was like seeing a Salvador Dali painting come to life in a comic book. And this quote just nails the comic's cultural impact. These stories, with their deep dives into Eastern mysticism, astral projection, and those trippy visuals, landed at the exact same moment the 1960s counterculture was exploring those very same ideas. It wasn't just a comic book. For a lot of readers, it was practically a spiritual text, a reflection of a world that was rapidly changing. Okay, so with his background and his powers all laid out, what does being the Sorcerer Supreme actually look like day to day? What kind of cosmic nightmares is he fighting off from his secret headquarters? Well, first off, every hero needs a base, and Strange's is one of the most famous in all of comics, the Sanctum Sanctorum. From the outside, it just looks like an unassuming townhouse in New York's Greenwich Village, but it's actually a fortress, a nexus point of mystical energies, all hidden in plain sight. From inside this one building, he guards our entire reality.
And the kind of threats he faces are just staggering. He's not fighting bank robbers. He's battling his magical archrival, Baron Mordo, the demonic tyrant of the dark dimension, Dormammu, this awful entity named Nightmare who literally preys on people in their dreams, and even ancient cosmic horrors from beyond time itself, like Shumagarat.
And that really brings us to the crucial point of it all. Doctor Strange's story is the ultimate transformation. He starts out as a man completely defined by the physical skill in his hands, only to lose it all. But in losing the one thing he thought made him great, he was forced to find a totally different kind of strength, one built on humility, sacrifice, and magic. His journey is this amazing reminder that sometimes the most powerful force for change isn't in our muscles, but in our mind.